So I'm going to read off a list of names here real quick, and I want you guys to really think about what these people have in common, okay? Nidal Hassan, Aaron Alexis, Sing Hu Cho, if I'm saying that name properly, James Holmes, Amy Bishop, Andrew Stack, Jared Loeffner, James Lee, Harrison Keebold, Bill Ayers, Lee Harvey Oswald, Elliot Rodger, and of course, James Hodgkinson. Now, right off the bat, you say, well, these are all, you know, at least attempted or were mass killers of some sort. And you'd be right. You got the Fort Hood shooter, the Navy Yard shooter, the VTech shooter, the Dark Knight shooter, the guy that flew a plane in the IRS building on this list, the guy that shot Gabby Giffords, the guy that took hostages at the Discovery Channel, right? You got the Columbine killers on here, the guy that killed JFK. You got Bill Ayers, a legitimate terrorist. No joke, he was a legitimate terrorist. He ran the Weather Underground, which was a terrorist group. They went around blowing up buildings, okay? And now, of course, James Hodgkinson, the guy that attempted to, at least, kill a bunch of congressmen and women. And fortunately, the day ended with them only being injured and him being put down like the dog he is. But yes, you're right. They are all, at the very least, attempted mass killers. But something else they have in common is that every single one of them, at best, was a left-leaning Democrat. At worst, they were hardcore, radicalized, socialist, left-leaning nut jobs. Period. Every single person on that list, and I bet if I busted out my Google foo, I could probably find a bunch more over the course of the last 4 or 5 decades that were left-leaning nut jobs that went out and tried or did kill a bunch of people. Let that really sink in. Okay? Because the left loves to accuse the right all the time of how we are the nut jobs. Us and our guns, we're always running out to kill people and minorities, and we're racist, and we're this and we're that. Name people on the right. Please tell me. Give me a list of 15 names, give or take, like I just gave you, of people on the right who went out and did this kind of thing. You can probably come up with a couple, I'm sure. Right off the bat, I can think of Timothy McVeigh. Yeah, he was a right-wing nut job, and he killed a lot of people. But that was one guy. Really, one guy. Maybe throw out Dylan Roof, right? There's 2 guys right there for you. Give me a list of 15 or 20 names like I can give you. Let that sink in, people. I don't care whether you're left or right. That should say something to you. We live in a world where the media and politics more or less leans left. It's kind of biased. We know this, and we live in a culture that's been soaked in that for 4, 5, 6 decades almost. At some point, you got to feel like that's going to start to affect people. And now we have radicalized nut jobs going around killing people. And yes, some of them were truly nut jobs, and maybe what they did didn't have necessarily anything to do with their politics, but a lot of them, it did legitimately have to do with their politics, i.e. James Hodgkinson. This is a problem. Media doesn't think so. Media thinks it's a gun problem. That it's guns. Never mind the guy that took hostages or flew into an IRS building or people that blew stuff up. They were all right there with James Hodgkinson. If he couldn't have used a gun, he would have used something else. He was a left-wing nut job that was determined to kill people on the right, specifically congressmen and women. It wouldn't have mattered what he used, but to the media, to politicians, it's a gun problem. It's insane, really. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So I'll just say this, okay? To those politicians, to those in the media, who come out and say, well, look, yeah, our side's killing a bunch of people on your side. Nah, we know it. Yeah, whatever. We're not going to say that publicly, but we know it. You guys out there who are allowing this to foster this mentality, and then when it does happen, forgiving it, whether you're a politician or in the media, you want to be able to kill us. You want to be able to kill people who are not of your ideology. You allow it to happen. You forgive it when it does and blame the gun, or blame the bomb, or the car, or the knife. You never blame the ideology. You never blame the person. You always blame the object, unless it's somebody on the right that did it. And then you blame both, right? You want to kill us, and then you want to disarm us? You want to say we shouldn't have guns after it's your side killing our side? That ain't how it works, Buttercup. You need to come up with a new plan, because people like myself and so many millions and millions of others are just going to tell you to go fuck off, go fuck yourself, and come at me, bro.